19 hours 20 in Guyana, right across the Eastern Caribbean. Welcome to the Friday edition of the Lall Show. And of course, this evening it's Friday. You know that we like to keep it very short on a Friday. We will do that for you this evening. I have Mr. Lall, the man of the moment, who will make his presentation. And later on, once time permits us, we'll take your phone call. Mr. Lall, the floor is now yours. Namaste and happy Friday to you.
Namaste to you, Mr. Joshua. Namaste, Miss Harris, Mr. Bernard. Namaste, all Guyana, wherever you're watching me from, wherever you're listening to me from, whether in Guyana or out of Guyana. I love all of you. Tonight is a beautiful program. You're going to love it because I love it. First thing to report to you people. ExxonMobil announced that they began pumping, yes, they began pumping oil today from Liza 2 project. That's from the Liza Destiny. Unity. 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 They will be pumping, they began pumping 126,000 barrels per day. If you add the two with Liza 1 and Liza 2, with the oil price today, Joshua, Miss Harris and Bernard, man, is 32 million American dollars per day. Guess what? They began pumping in the second project without any full cover insurance. Come on, man, you guys ain't gonna laugh for that? We have no full cover insurance and they began pumping today. Raking in 32 million American dollars a day. And what Guyana getting out of that? You may barely get $1 million. If you're lucky. But our President Ali and the Parliament said during the debate that no increase for public servants. As yet. Oh my. You know what is the boss man for ExxonMobil were coming on Monday? What is his salary per year, uncle? 25 million American dollar a year for he alone. And I must tell you before I begin this program tonight that our Vice President Bharat Jagdeo has confirmed with my reporter after I have been bashing him since December 2020. He promised a press conference and never find time. He told her a while ago that he's going to make time to sit down with her for an interview. Cheers. I got to drink some water or some tea because I can't drink my coconut water and vodka as yet. Joshua?
Yes.
60 out of that 630 million American dollars, that oil money, should have been used to double the senior citizens' pension and all the public servants' salary. But they see fit not to trouble that, not to spend that money to give these people an increase. You didn't hear me, Joshua, you want me to repeat it? 60 million out of that $630 million, all the oil money they have sitting in the bank could have been used to double all the public servant salaries in this country. Man, I gotta give a quick update. Update on those suits. Yes, from the judgment the court awarded to Winston Brasington and Donald Ramatar. I don't pay Winston Brasington and his lawyer Timothy Jonas $37 million with a bank loan. I got to get another bank loan next week to pay the ex-president Donald Ramatar and his lawyer, Satram, $25 million. Because they write me and say they're ready to collect their money awarded to them. With interest. With interest. But man, when they're done with me, we are shut down this place. Imagine you can't find lawyer in this country to fight ExxonMobil with what they're doing to us. It took me 9 months to find a lawyer to take this tax case to court. But you can always find one to come after Lall, who busy fighting ExxonMobil for the Guyanese people. Yes. What a wonderful world we live in. Joshua,
Yes.
I love that song you played just now. Could you play back that piece for me? Yes, man. Play it for me, please. Play it for the Guyanese people here. You got it there or you lose it.
No, it's right here.
Play it for me, please, quickly. See, to myself, what a wonderful world. Miss Harris,
Yes.
Sue, Sue,
Susu.
Susu. I don't want no more Sue. I had enough. I got bank loans paying for Sue, suing. What's going on in this country? And they have a senior hungry belly lawyer who reading the Kaieteur news every day and listening to all my programs and TikToks to drop another law, sue on me again. You know, Miss Harris,
Yeah.
in the United States, you call lawyers like that ambulance chasers who are hungry for money
Yeah.
from the wounded and the sick, just praying for people to have accidents in which they can show up. To make money. Or he's like tow truck chasers. They just sit down praying for your vehicle to break down on the streets. Or when you get into an accident, to come and tow it away to make some money. So me gotta be careful with this sue. It's plenty of them. You got in Guyana, you know, Bernard.
Plenty serious.
Not only tenants. Yeah, man, not only tenants. When Josh played that song, what a wonderful world. I want to say this, country got enough, more than enough wealth to make everybody live a wonderful life. But when you got greedy people, selfish leaders, covetous crab dogs, poverty and starvation flourishes, Bernard.
Like in Equatorial.
Yes.
Like in Equatorial Guinea.
I want to go to Equatorial Guinea. Ghana, not Guyana. Ghana have a big protest going on in the streets as I speak. 85% of their population is against the government because they want to put a 2% tax on electronic payments over $16. You hear me, brother? over $16, them protesting because the government want to tax them. You know, like when you put, when you put in a $40 in your phone, the president of Ghana wants his people to tax that. And that is an oil-producing country, uncle and auntie. Just Google and see what is going on in the streets for 2% tax on these electronic payments. We, Guyana, get 2% royalty on this massive oil fine we have. And there is no protest. On top of that, we give away all the oil for next to nothing. And then the Guyanese people have to pay their taxes. Man, what's going on in this land? Joshua, please play back the song for me, man. Then I said to myself, what a wonderful world. Joshua, I hope you're not sleep away at me tonight, you know. No. Lithium. Lithium is a rare but very expensive material presently now, in which the world is in dire need of. Uncle, they use lithium to make these electric vehicle batteries. And of course, you know the world is going electric in a few years' time. Yes, they are. An Australian company went to Serbia, a European country, looking for lithium, and found some in 3 small villages in western Serbia. Less than 1,000 acres. The Australian company tied up a deal with the government of Serbia. And as they were about to begin mining for the lithium, the residents in the neighborhood realized that they would have been shafted, robbed, and kicked out to give the company access to remove this rich mineral. The villagers began a massive protest in the streets of Serbia that ended up in the city, which forced the government to abandon and cancel the Australian contract. That protest lasted 3 months.
People's power.
Yes, that is what you call people's power, not government power. Not Ali, Norton, Harmon, or Jack Dale power. That is people's power. I share these 2 stories with you guys. How 3 villages with a couple of thousand people stood their ground for a fair share of their wealth and their livelihood and won. This happened only last week, right here in Guyana, Miss Harris. You've been there too, right?
Yeah.
In Matthews Ridge, the Chinese fetching out our rare and expensive lithium for free, disrupting the neighborhood and their livelihoods, and not a soul saying a word in this country.
They're trying to help our brothers.
Huh?
They're trying to help our brothers.
the Australians, the Americans, the Canadians, the Chinese, the Indians, the Russians, etc., fetching out your gold, your diamonds, your manganese, your bauxite, your timber, and your lithium, and now your oil. And what you're getting from all these rich resources that is being fetched away, uncle and auntie, again I ask, what are you getting?
Promises.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Guyana is about 780,000 people, and 3/4 out of that can barely put food on their tables when the day come. Biscuits in their children lunch kits. No roofs over their heads. Can't even pay light bill, water bill, much less their rent. And them not taken into the streets to stand up, to defend, to fight for their own future. Wait, man. Bernard, am I still a Guyanese? Are you people Guyanese that owns these resources? Or you are people out of space with no tongue, feet, or backbones? Huh?
No. No spine.
No spine.
Third.
They gotta go.
Darren Woods, ExxonMobil king, yes, is coming here on Monday at the Marriott Hotel. I hope to see you guys on the streets Tuesday morning. Even if you cannot come to the Marriott Hotel with a placard in your hand, I want you to come out in your towns and villages all over this country, demanding your rightful share of your own wealth, uncle and auntie. Please. Is that too much to ask for? For your own self, your own children, your own future? No, man, I don't think so. I hope to see placards saying, President Ali, please give us a fair share of our own wealth. Placards that say, Bharat Jagdeo, you're a smart man. Don't sell out the Guyanese people further. Like what those African, Asian, and Arabian leaders did to their country and their people. Let's show them, uncle and auntie, placards that says, Aubrey Norton, you're the new leader, opposition leader. Stand up with all Guyanese so that they can all have a good life with their wealth and resources. Is that too much to ask for, Josh?
No.
Or you want to play back that song for me, man? Huh? I see green trees. With corrupt leaders, make corrupt deals with the people's resources. You don't have to remind citizens to get out into the streets and demand change. They come out by themselves.
Yep.
here in Guyana, Glenn Lall is calling over a year now, is begging you people to let's get out into the streets in front of their homes if it comes to that, and demand that Guyana gets its rightful package. Are you with me for a better Guyana and a better you? Or you're satisfied with the crumbs they're throwing at y'all? Well, not crumbs, because you're not getting anything. Let me hear you, Josh. I'm not hearing you. And as I am talking about the crumbs, Uncle, let me share this quick piece of information in y'all ears. Kaieteur News carried a headline Monday gone that reads, after withdrawing 126 billion illegally from oil fund, government now tables motion seeking parliamentary approval to cover their tracks. You hear that, Bernard? I received a letter from Anil Nandalal, the Attorney General, the next day, saying that if Kaieteur News don't retract the story, the government reserves the right to sue us. Sue. Like if I am a tenant to the government, or the Kaieteur News a tenant to them. And in the letter, he said that the government did not take out the money yet. That is what he wants we to correct. That is what he said is misleading. You hear that, Bernard?
Not that I take it illegally.
Wait, man. Now you tell me, Uncle. Them say in Parliament that all the oil money will be spent for this and for that in the 2022 budget. What I mean, man? Let me ask this. You got any oil money left in the overseas bank book if you don't plan to spend it? Bernard?
Not that I know of.
If you don't plan to spend all the oil money,
You get nothing left?
you got any money left in the bank book?
No.
Harris?
Nothing.
It's just that they did not physically take them out yet, Uncle.
But they already spent it.
But it will be taken out when the budget pass. And guess what, Uncle? The budget passed yesterday afternoon. Did they take it out? Did they take out all the money this morning? These people, I don't know what to say about them.
Exactly. Sick.
But it's not that, Miss Harris. It's the way how Kaieteur News reported that upset them. After withdrawing the 126 billion illegally from the oil fund, government now tables motion seeking parliamentary approval to cover tracks. Now you tell me, what wrong we said, man? Eh? All the money will be spent. And them even say, Uncle, 100 million US will go to the gas to show project. Whether it is legal or not legal, your oil money will be spent, Uncle and Auntie. And Anil Nandalal knows that. But the article make them look bad because they tell the country how them will deal with that money in a transparent and accountable fashion. The time he took to write that letter to Kaieteur News, he should have used that little energy to bring about better oil law that can protect this country from them international scavengers, what them call investors that coming into the country to clean we out like scavengers. That is what he should have done. Now, you got to hear what Ashni Singh, yes, The man who put together this 2022 budget had to say in Parliament yesterday. I am certain he and Arnold Lall would have listened carefully to my Wednesday night program in which I said how they plan to spend and huff out the little oil money. Ashley Singh went in Parliament the next day after my program, which is yesterday, and tell Parliament how all the money, listen this, man, but this is the laugh of it, man. How all the money got to go in one big pool for the budget. So he can't say exactly what the oil money will be spent on. In other words, Uncle, he telling Guyana, he doesn't know what the oil money, the borrow money, the taxpayers' money, yes, money will be spent on. Ashley Singh wants us to believe that he will throw all the money that make up the budget into a barrel and he gonna mix up. So he can't know which 100 million is for the gas to shore project or any other project that's set out in the 2022 budget. I like that one.
Wow.
Yeah? Man, this is not Nancy's story, man. Man, Joshua got play back a song, man. I see green trees. I see blue. But this man say he gonna mix up the money. And he can't tell which $100 million gonna spend in the gas to shore project.
Yeah, doctor in economics, right?
Man, and this man got a doctor, yes,
Doctor
of economics, yes, yeah. Man, this is not Nancy's story for me grandchildren. If I tell me grandchildren, man, they would want to come out and protest in the streets too. Wow. What kind of crap that is. Hey, Uncle? You see the games and the language these people using to figgly-foogly our brains? He can't say exactly what the oil money is going to spend on. That is like Lall. Take $1,000 from an editor to make up the money to buy some apples, grapes, and banana to feed the staff. And I tell the staff, I don't know which part of the $1,000 buy the banana. Or let me make it more simple, man. It's like you get your December salary along with your little Christmas bonus. You buy a gift for your wife or your husband, and you tell your spouse you don't know if it's the salary money or the bonus money by the gift. Man, is these people running this $1 trillion business, $1 American oil business in this land? Yeah?
Jokers.
Man, they got to be seen plenty green for themselves.
Exactly.
Just like how the guy said, I see green trees.
They see green money too.
Blue skies. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, no, this is not for real happening in this land. This is what all these chaps been doing to you all these years, both in the PMC and the AFC, plus the BBP, watching y'all full in your face and talking these things. And you know what they were saying in Parliament? But they'll do. Yes. And all of you would get down into the streets and kill each other for them instead of getting into the streets and fight for what is rightfully
On
yours.
your children.
What a world we live in. The oil law is very specific, Uncle, about what the oil money should be spent on and what portion of it should be saved for future generations. It is clear. Anyhow them twist it, Uncle, anyhow they turn it, Auntie, your oil money will be spent on all the projects in 2022 and nothing will be left in the account for our children in the future generation. Yes, that's why they rush through the law 2 days before the new year when all I had drinking rum and drunk so I couldn't see. Open your eyes or ears to understand what game they were playing. And the President Ali run and sign it secretly into law the next day. Yes. My God. You got to come down and help this land, brother. The Attorney General are threatened for sue. Now Ashley Singh wants to sue y'all with your oil money in a fugly language. Then you have Bharat Jagdev in his own Susu story. That I talk about that Wednesday already. And a lot is being said in the media fraternity and on social media. Miss Harris,
Yes, sir.
can you help me understand what all this suing about, man? I am kind of losing it, you know.
They don't need to.
They're fighting among themselves for see who them can take out. For see. They're fighting among themselves, Bernard. For see. They may take out no money yet. For Tel Aviv, they may take out no money yet. But Ashley Singh done already saying he can't tell me what the money is spent on. Man, Joshua is really going on in this country. All the money coming out to spend will be spent on TV projects. But the public servants, all these public servants, Uncle, who are the part owners of that money, them say can't get increase. President Ali and Ashley Singh them said them are, what word they use? They're thinking to find a way, if they can, to give a little increase. Nothing they have said about increase.
They don't have good money.
A lady that I know a long time now came to my office yesterday. She got 5 children, begging me for help her because she got to move out from where she's living. And everywhere she go, Bernard, the people want 2-3 month advance rent. She said she barely making money to feed her children and pay her rent. She said, Glenn, this had happened to her one time before, in which she had to beg friends to keep 3 of the big children. 3 of the small children. Yes. And she and the 2 big ones was going in the nights at the emergency unit at the Georgetown Hospital, cover her head and sleep till morning. She said after a couple nights, they catch up with her, and she was so ashamed to tell them she got nowhere to go with the 2 children. But I want you to know, Uncle, she's not a beggar. She is a public servant who just can't make ends meet. Now again, She got to move because the people want a place. And she doesn't have the 2 months advance rent to pay anywhere. This is the dilemma, Bernard. Thousands of our brothers and sisters like she living through as we speak in an oil-rich country called Guyana. The second fastest growing economy on earth according to the World Bank, IMF, and all them financial institutions. Yes. Got their citizens sleeping at the emergency hospital because they can't find 80,000. That is 2 months advance rent to move in a place. Wow. Mr. Darren Woods, Mr. Ali, Mr. Norton, and Mr. Jagdeo. $60 million out of that 630 oil money should have been used to double all them public servants' salary and double every senior citizen's pension package for the whole year already. So that woman's salary could have been doubled, and she didn't have to walk around the place in tears begging for anything that can help her to move from the lady place. You know what she said to me, Joshua? Mr. Lall, can you please keep my little furniture anywhere in your building for me until I find a place? I will take the children and we will find a place to sleep. But I don't want my things to be thrown out on the road for it to be damaged. Let me repeat here, man. Let me repeat again, uncle. 60 million alone from that 630 million them going to huff out. 3/4 for themselves through inflated projects. It can double all the public servant salary and old age pension.
Definitely.
Instead, President Ali going to put 100 million American dollars into gas to shore project what Guyana know nothing about, and got Ashley Singh telling this nation how it's too early to say whether the public servants can get a little increase in their salary. This country can be real, man. Bernard, Joshua, please play back that song for me, man. I see green trees with This is the wonderful Guyana. But let's move on. Listen to what your president had to say. Listen to his tone of voice and the love this man expressed through his presentation to the MPs in Parliament the other day. The other day when he was in opposition. Joshua, do you have the tape?
Yes.
Could you please play that tape for me?
No problem.
On behalf of the People's Progressive Party Civic, principles and laws governing collective bargaining, in accordance with our commitment on the International Labour Organization, Mr. Speaker, where was the principle when you arbitrarily impose an increase on the workers? Mr. Speaker, there was no consultation with the GPSU, and the GPSU is calling for a minimum of $100,000 to be paid to the workers. On this note, Mr. Speaker, I am in support of the GPSU request. I am in support. Mr. Speaker, we are in support. We are in support because in our manifesto, we promise to increase the salaries of public servants by far more than 20%. By far more than 20%. Mr. Speaker, what about the nurses, the teachers? What about the police workers, the police officers? Aren't they equally important? Mr. Speaker,
That was President Ali when they were in opposition in Parliament just 2 years ago. Hear what he said, just in case you didn't hear him clearly. On behalf of the PPP Civic, principles and laws governing in accordance with our commitment with the International Labour Organization. Mr. Speaker, where was the principle when you arbitrarily posed an increase on the workers? Mr. Speaker, there was no consultation with GPSU. And the GPSU is calling for a minimum of $100,000 to be paid to the workers. On this note, Mr. Speaker, I am in support of the GPSU request. I am in support. Mr. Speaker, we are in support. We are in support because in our manifesto, we promise to increase the salaries of public servants by far more than 20%.
In the manifesto.
There you go, uncle and auntie, hollering at the top of his lungs. He sounded hoarse, just talking that piece of thing. He said, Mr. Speaker, what about the nurses, the teachers, the police officers, and they, and their families important? My God. My God. His words, uncle and auntie, when you listen to these people, you have to ask yourself many, many questions. One of them, are these people for real? Can they be trusted? Can they see the Creator's face? There you have our president, sitting president, hollering on top of his voice when he was in opposition, how he support far more than 20% increase for them public servants, for them poor people who can't pay rent, light bill and water bill in this country. Today this young man sit down as the lead man, passing a budget with the people's own money without a blind dollar in it for them. The same people he was screaming his support for in that tape, That is what you call trust, uncle. That is what you call leadership. No, brothers and sisters, no. That is what you call an honest, trustworthy, and believed or believable politician. All they give you is empty promises and a bunch of lies about what they're going to do for you and what they wouldn't do for your mommy and your daddy. You know, uncle, when he was on top of his voice in Parliament calling for the increase, the coalition government didn't have a cent of the oil money. And he was supporting giving more than 20% increase to those civil servants. Now the oil money come in his hand. And he's in the driving seat, in total command and in control. Throwing 30 million US dollar, which is just over half the money, to double the public servant's salary on a bush road, the Linden Mabura Road, where Crapo and Dag go run on. Plus another 160 million when I'm a borrow from the bank. Yes. For Dunda Road. Throwing away a full 7% of the oil money again on that milking cow that never done. Yeah. The scumbag airport, the Chinese a bill, but can't take out 60 million or less than 10% of that 630 million oil money to double the people's salary so that they could put food on the children's table or send the children smiling with a banana in their lunch kits and can double old people pension so that them too can buy little ensure milk or Complan to keep them healthy. No. I wonder if President Ali, Ashni Singh, and Jagdeo does remember them people's children. The way them does remember them own children lunch kits. I hope the First Lady listening to this program, because I just be remembering people's children. When I see my family packing my 3 grandchildren lunch kits on school days. Joshua, could you play back that song for me, man? I need a break. I need a break. Let me play back that song for me. What a wonderful world. Let me expand and expose these leaders a little more, who they are, uncle, so you guys will get a full understanding of who you have dealing with. All of them. Before elections, the 2020 elections, when they were begging for your votes, they promised all Guyana in their manifesto how they will manage this oil sector to benefit, yes man, to benefit all Guyanese. Hear what they promise they will do for every citizen of this country. And let me tell you in their exact words what they said in the manifesto. It is posted up on Freedom House outside the wall. Anybody can go and read them. It's online too. You can go and view it. It's also on the PPP web page. Just Google it, man. You can Google it. It's there. The party said they will immediately engage the oil and gas companies in better contract administration and renegotiation. Let me repeat that piece. The party said they will immediately engage the oil and gas companies in better contract administration and renegotiation. What happened to this promise, Mr. Ali and Mr. Vice President Jagdeo? Better contract administration and renegotiation of the oil contract. Them two words drop out you guys' vocabulary, or y'all swallow them and it pass out somewhere, because we don't hear nothing about renegotiation anymore. Although y'all self say is a one-sided contract Trotman sign on to. Uncle, let me dive down a little more into their manifesto. What they promise all of us. Them said they will establish an arm's length sovereign wealth fund, and insulated from political interference. Arm's length and free from political interference. Uncle and auntie, nobody, they're talking about the oil money there. How they're going to keep it at arm's length and it will be free from political interference. Uncle and auntie, nobody have a say with the oil money today. You know, see, they don't go with all. You had a say?
No.
Me?
We didn't even get to sue.
Bernard, you?
No, I sue you.
Any crapper?
No.
And got the nerve to tell the Guyanese people all the oil money gonna go in one big pool with the other budget money, and how they don't know what the oil money will really be spending on. What a Guyana you live in, with a set of con artists. Their manifesto went further to say they will ensure that every cent spent, all Guyanese would know what it going to, because it have to pass through Parliament. And today, Ashley Singer tell you, he don't know what the money going to spend on. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I see green trees with blue skies for me and you. Then I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
For who?
Joshua was going to ask you to play it back, but take it easy. I think I can sing it by now. The PPP promise in a manifesto how they will put in place a strong framework to manage and regulate the oil industry. They will have a strong and powerful structure with capable people to hold the oil companies accountable, uncle. That's what I said. And to verify the oil production and verify all the spendings. Well, Guyana, we're still dealing with an outdated oil law. We still can't monitor how much oil Exxon pumping up when the day come. We can't monitor whether they pump water, gasoline, diesel or kerosene, or how much they're pumping up, because we don't have a meter. And this is what they call their strong and powerful structure with capable people to monitor and hold the oil companies accountable, Bernard.
I'm disappointed we couldn't put together a team.
Yes, and then, thank you. And then Vice President Jagdeo going to tell us how he is so disappointed that he couldn't put together a team to check and verify 9 billion American dollars. Three of Guyana 2022 budget. These people can be serious, man. Are you really understand what happened in this country, brothers and sisters?
Robbery, rape, violence.
I tell you, these people, you're being raped, robbed, sodomized, with just name it. And all you people sit down quiet. Did anyone of the oil money come out to buy a meter and run a cable to see for yourself how much oil pumping every day? Did any money come out to hire people to check those inflated bills? But all them promises is in their manifesto, uncle and auntie. Yes, all those promises in there. You know what that remind me of, Miss Harris? Honey, I'm going to give you the moon and the stars. Come and sleep with me, na baby. And when you get you in bed, and you wake up the next morning, the star and the moon disappear. And left you with your mouth white. That is what the PPP doing to all of you in this country. Are you not a little shame to give them senior citizens? 65,000 senior citizens. 100 Guyana dollar a day, man. President Ali, your father and mother should have taken that $100, spit on it, and give you, put it in your pocket. Auntie, we got billions in debt on we head already. And every day ExxonMobil racking up hundreds of millions more in expenses to in debt we. Uncle, when it comes to monitoring the oil sector, these people throw a few thousand US dollars here and there and say, this is what we will spend to build capacity and audit them billions in bills. Them billions in bills thrown at us by the oil companies. Yes. You believe that, Bernard? A couple $100,000 US they put for that. We getting robbed, Bernard, hundreds of millions of US dollars every goddamn year with the oil. And after promising to fix it, the PPP throwing a couple thousand US to the EPA for watchman them oil companies out there. Can you believe that, man? EPA gets 79 million, which are 400,000 US. It's like you're hiring an old security guard who are already in the 90 for Guard Bank of Guyana. With all the body there. With a torchlight and a button. Yes. That is what the PPP doing to y'all right now. Uncle, during the 10 days budget debate and approval process in Parliament, one minister after another said that every project them ministry plan to do, they are fulfilling the manifesto promise. Is fulfilling their PPP manifesto promise, uncle. Yes. Them like for say that people elect them because of the promises they made in their manifesto. Well, uncle. Valentine Day is Monday. And Valentine is for lovers. And Valentine comes with lots of promise. But on Valentine's Day, is there enough people that realize promise is a comfort to a donkey, not a fool. I don't know what you are, and I don't want to place you in anything. I just telling you that Valentine coming and promises for donkey and or a fool. The PPP promise a renegotiation of the oil contract. The most important thing to Guyana and every citizens. Yes. People go to bed and wake up with renegotiation on their mind, Bernard. People walking and talking to themselves about this oil contract. This oil contract is on every man and woman's soul in this country. Even the PPP had to put that as the last thing in their manifesto. You hear that? They put it as the last thing in their manifesto to make sure, even if you don't read inside, you're going to see the first and you're going to see what at the end. Yes. They are in power 19 months now. What happened to this promise? Bernard, you could help me?
I want to myself.
Huh?
I want to know what.
Uncle, the promises what I make to the Guyanese people are history already. And all they're trying to do now is bend over to keep Exxon happy and please them. You see who they love more? You see who they really love? Darren Woods, a come for Valentine. You better check who and who will be sleeping with him on Valentine's night. And check the amount of red roses that will be delivered to him by the leaders at the Marriott Hotel, because it is only ExxonMobil promises and wishes that are being fulfilled in this country for the last few years. I'll be looking to see if he's coming on a passenger plane or a private jet, and the bill they will throw at us for that ride.
What's it by the jet? CEO exam shopping.
I can only shake my head many days. Nothing else I can do. And who tried to do these programs to enlighten you people. While Darren Woods and his executives will be sipping red wine, eating red snapper, and smelling red roses with your leaders on Valentine's evening. Yes, Uncle, the poor, faithful Guyanese people at home, yes, they will be sitting with a white mouth, can't even sip a little white rum or eat the white belly shrimp. This is your Guyana. Joshua, could you play that song for me? Do have a blessed weekend. God bless you. Josh will take a few phone calls. President Ali and all of them sitting on the edge of their seat with all this information I'm giving you guys every Monday, Wednesdays and Friday about the games they're playing and the damages they're doing to Guyana and its people. With this massive oil wealth that belongs to all of us. I think I am keeping them at wake. I am keeping them at wake at nights. I am hearing it in the streets and I am feeling it in my bones. Yes. Yes, Joshua.
Thank you very much.
60 million. 60 million out of that 630 million oil money, Joshua, should have been used to double them public servant salary and double them old people pension package. You hear me? Wow. Wow. Go ahead, man. Take the calls.
Thank you very much. You can call us this evening on 226-7453, 226-7454, and of course WhatsApp or regular call us on 622-2222. You can also SMS or WhatsApp there as well. Those numbers again, 226-7453 and 226-7454.
Just before you take that, let me give them a quick update.
Uh-huh.
Those lawsuits, judgment. I don't pay Winston Basington and his lawyer, like I said, 37 million with a bank loan. I got to get another bank loan this week to pay ex-president Ramotar. He's 25 million. Because like I said, he write me. Like I said, you know,
Yeah.
you can't find lawyer to sue these people. But they can find lawyer to sue me.
You have a caller here.
Mr. Harris.
Caller, good evening and welcome to the Glenn Lall Show.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
Yeah, I think the government do not want to change the contract, you know. Because if they change the contract now, the money will get smaller, you know. So this is my just belief that they wouldn't want to change it. You understand? Yeah. This is my country.
Hold, my friend, hold. I have said, and I will say it again. Whoever take the people money, they can give them back. They can give them back, man. And I am willing as a Guyanese, right, to forgive them so that we can get in. Every citizen can become a billionaire in this country, bro.
Yeah, I know that.
You understand?
Yeah,
and they themselves can get 50 times more to thief. 50 times they could thief.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. But see, the government stubborn, man. They don't really want to change the contract. They just want to do as they want to do.
Well, I have said it and I'm going to say it again. 5,000 of us get out into the streets. Man, you get Darren Woods, Joe Biden can't stop that renegotiation. But you guys going to come out?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, Tuesday morning I'll see you guys there.
All right.
All right? At the Marriott.
Yeah.
Let's shut down the place, man.
Yeah, let's do that, man.
Thank you. And bring out your friends. Bring out your neighbors.
Yeah.
Okay? Like I said, if you live out of town, come out in your towns, come out in your villages. Stand up on the road with your neighbors and hold one big placard and say we want renegotiation. We must have a renegotiation. And call on the PPP. That was their promise in the last line of their manifesto. Fulfill it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Caller, good evening and welcome to the Glenn Lall Show.
Yes, so can I get into your show?
You're live on the air.
You're live on the air. Go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Lall, I want to ask you something. I am a disabled person, 77 years old. Right? Now, there is something they said in the oil money of our $3,000 that we getting. We are going to be able, disabled people are going to be able to access training. What can I do? A blind man at 77 years, a disabled, a pensioner, do with that money?
Exactly.
that they have given me. I got to pay a woman to keep looking at me. I am unable to walk much because I have a wheelchair and those kind of things. And I listen to your program and I wonder what is the government and the opposition doing towards elevating my status as a citizen of this country.
Nothing.
Listening to the oil funds and all these kind of things. What is happening to me? I'd
My
like
friend,
to know.
my friend,
Yes.
I could feel your pain.
Uh-huh.
I could even smell the suffering you're going through.
Yes.
I can only advise all the pensioners.
Mm-hmm.
When you see any one of the MPs,
Mm-hmm.
take out $100 and don't
Yeah.
throw it, pelt it at them.
Yeah.
Graceful. Shameful.
All right.
Trust me, man.
Yes.
I don't tell every Wednesday if I was a pensioner. I'd go and take off my clothes in front of the house.
Well, Mister, why I call you and state I would have liked to be part of the energy thing to ask my questions.
Oh, that's another ball game you raised there. You know what? You know they're gonna have this oil conference 4 days, and I am already told that you will not be allowed to ask questions. All the questions will have to go through a panel. So
Then why throw it then and tell the Guyanese people to come?
my friend,
Yes.
this thing is a puppy show going on in this country. I keep telling the Guyanese people, if y'all don't get out into the streets and let these people know are you serious about a good life, trust me, you and your grandchildren and future generation will be eating mud cakes, making mud cake to
Well,
eat.
what I would like to say to
The Asian people
yes.
is at that stage where the children making mud cakes in the streets and eat it to full the belly. In Africa, it's happening right now too. And this is where Guyana will be heading. And I am just enlightened. I'm trying every day to educate you people through the newspapers too. Wake up, man.
Well, I would like to tell the Guyanese people, go out and protest. We had a protest in the 80-day strike in which we went out there and stood for right. I think it's time that the government need to be shown
Thanks for your support.
what, as you said, is people power once again.
Thanks for your support. Thanks for your support.
Yes.
Thanks for your support. I'll be marching out there, and I know that you will be by my side, although you're not seeing or you can't make it.
Yes, I can't sleep.
Right.
I can't.
I'll hold you in my heart by my side. Man, in Sorbia, I just told you guys in Sorbia, this is 3 months. Chase the Australians out.
If you can do a fair deal, get the hell out.
Right. Yeah, man.
A fair deal,
Yes.
get the hell out.
Yes.
Calling good evening and welcome to the Dan Lall Show.
Hi, good afternoon. Am I on the show?
Yes, yes.
I would like to ask Mr. Lall,
Go ahead.
Mr. Jagdeo, not Mr. Jagdeo, Mr. Ashley Singh is not a Minister of Finance. So please tell me, all these things that he is doing under the Ministry of Finance, is it legal?
Well, it's a beautiful question. I must tell you that we, Guyana, do not have a Minister of Finance. And there is a reason for that. You see, the Minister of Finance, okay, will be held accountable for anything that goes wrong with our finances. Right? So that was a strategic move not to put a Minister of Finance there. Nobody wants to put their name there or sit there as a Minister of Finance because nobody wants to go to jail 5-10 years down the road if this administration change, or if you get clean people at the helm of this country to run it. People will go to jail. So you cannot hold Ashley Singh and say, Ashley Singh, you were sitting there, or hold Bharat Jagdeo and say, you were the finance minister. No, we do not have a Minister of Finance. Ashley Singh sits as a minister within the office of the president with responsibility for finance of this country. And that's the trick.
No, I would like to further ask, isn't this a violation of the Constitution of Guyana?
I would not be able to answer that question. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Right? But if you get the answer, you can call us back and tell us. Or I could find out.
Thank you, caller.
You see how tricky they are?
Yeah.
You know, when charges going to come, you can't charge Ashley Singh.
It's not me, yeah.
The man said, no, I wasn't the finance minister.
And in the law that they passed, it specifically says the finance minister.
Exactly.
So him acting as the senior minister with responsibility for finance, it's like
Within the office of the president.
yeah, it's like you're executing the functions of the finance minister,
Without the title.
but without the responsibility and the title.
Of a finance minister.
Yeah,
Correct.
relieving yourself of
Yeah.
the culpability should anything go wrong.
Yeah. But the whole
Sink.
country believe
That you
He is the finance
that he's the
minister.
finance minister.
And you know what? Since this budget, a lot of media houses have been reporting him as the Minister of
Finance,
Finance.
Yeah.
So I hope
And he's happy with that.
Exactly.
But on the books,
Exactly.
legally,
Yes.
he's not.
I hope when the time comes to prosecute these people.
No, I only hope the
They will
Guyanese
be,
people listening
exactly.
and understand the game, yes, the trick
Yep.
that's going on with their country and their resources, with their finances.
We have an interesting comment here.
Yes, go ahead, read the comment.
The person says, Mohammed Rafiq, a commentator, said, Glenn is going mad over the government's money, over the government's oil money. So somebody responded and said that, well, that's the problem. Your mentality is that it's the government's money and not your money. And that's something that keeps the country in poverty and keeps it down because of a
It
mentality
also-
like
one
that.
second. One second. That guy doesn't understand. Maybe somebody need to enlighten him.
Yes.
Rafiq, the oil money is not Glenn money. It's every citizen of this country money, brother, including you.
Yep.
It's your money. You should have been getting your fair share, brother. And it's people like Rafiq who gives the leaders this kind of sponge.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
To do and say things to us as they
Yes.
feel like.
With your ignorance.
Yes, they're
Exactly.
ignorant. But leave him, you got plenty like him. Don't worry with that.
Yeah.
Take the phone calls.
Glenn, you're talking about taking 60 million from the NRF to give the public servants a doubling salary. What about the $720 million that they paid for oil companies' taxes? Or what about the 20 million VAT exemption for the subsidiaries, for the contractors that work for the oil companies? They can only find $400,000 to pay the EPA, right? Yet they can give $20 million VAT exemption for the subcontractors. Why you can't give $20 million for the EPA?
Bernard, everything is wrong, and the leaders allowing these foreigners to fetch out everything. If I am to list the amount of money this country lost already, and we now begin pumping oil, it could have given every public servant
Triple.
10 times their salaries. The 720 million American dollars we pay for ExxonMobil, that is almost what? That's almost a third
Of our budget.
of the 2022 budget.
Yeah.
Instead, we went and borrowed 100 billion, which is 500 million US.
Yes, and we give away
So you give away 720 million and went and borrowed 500 million, in which you have to pay interest on. Man, something is definitely wrong with these scumbags we have.
One other thing, the EPA. I think the
Let me take this call. Hold up your EPA story. Good evening, you're live on air.
Yes, Mr. Glenn, good night.
Good night.
I calling from a fire, right? I calling from Western Island.
Wow.
And everything what you are saying about the government is truth. Because I work with my shilling for 17 months as a chainsaw operator. And by shilling, the money that I work for was $22,000 a month. And then the taxes and whatever they take out of my money, I left sometime with $27,000, $29,000 a month.
Wow.
And work from morning till night. Yeah? And none of those people don't love us, our Guyanese brothers. None. They love our Guyanese sister. Because they could get to do what they feel like doing with them. So I am telling you, Mr. Lall, you are doing a great program. I am not a big educated person, but I am a keen listener of your program. And when you talk, I tell you, in my heart and in my mind, the way I feel like, to slew someone. Yes, because our Guyanese people, what you saying is right. Many of us cannot eat when the day comes and send our children to school happy. That is better than us. When you talk about the Chinese, I personally buy a fried rice from the Chinese and I reach a piece of the meat inside the middle. Mr. Lall, I have to talk hard for you to hear me. Because our area here, the service does go and come.
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yes. And with our timber, you know what those people tell me? I am the only Guyanese man to work within them for 1 year straight. Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines. Every 2 months, they is in the casino with our president, Mr. Bharat Jagdeo. And those people tell me also, they said Jagdeo is a foolish president of Guyana. When they're taking out the timber from, they said Jagdeo is supposed to take the timber money and bulldoze the place, open city, move out some of the people from the city in Georgetown and open up Guyana forest. And I feel that was one of the best things those people talk, because they see the movement of him. They say the bulk of the money going in his pocket.
No. Calm down, Joshua. Calm down. You gotta careful, man. You gotta careful with your language, man. You gotta careful with your language. If you don't care for your language, trust me, they got a lawyer looking out to sue me tomorrow morning. Alright? So you gotta careful with your language. You gotta careful with your language when you're calling in on the program. Good evening, sir. You're live on here.
Hey, Mr. Glenn, how are you, sir?
Good evening.
Good. After several try with Mr. Norton, he confirmed today that he will send some people out on Tuesday help us out with the rally.
I want to see Mr. Norton out there.
Well, that we have to work on him on that.
All right.
So
Thank
maybe
you.
that would be a smart thing. All right, goodbye.
All right. Well, at least the gentleman said Mr. Norton going to be out in the rally.
No, you say you can send people.
You can send people,
Let's
yes.
see.
Yes,
Let's
but
see.
don't start moving shady. Once you say you're going to send people and you can't come, is another game you're playing there.
Yeah.
Norton,
It's a games when you're in opposition.
Norton, you got to get your acts together, bro. You now start. You now start.
Yep.
It's the games they play when you're in opposition. They tell you what they're going to do, and when they go there, they do nothing. They do the exact opposite.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
I know.
So, do
A
you have any
gentleman-
closing remarks?
A gentleman to
Yes.
call him. Let me call him back. I had to cut him off. Let me just give him a shot back. People just be calling and when they jam up on the phone, they don't get through. Let me just give them a shot. Yeah, you know, come Tuesday, it's, you know, it would not surprise me.
He wouldn't be there.
It would not
Yeah,
surprise
he's
me.
not going to be there.
Mhm.
From what he said on the Globe Plan.
You know, we have to continue to encourage people to protest. It does make a difference. It's not a laughing matter. I'm sure when you're sitting at home hungry, your children are starving, you don't even have bus fare to get to work, you don't have money to pay your rent, you can't pay your water bills, your light bills. It's really not funny. And the longer we continue to allow these things to happen, this disrespect to happen, the longer we're going to have to keep this fight up. So Guyanese really need to decide that we're going to put a stop to this and do things. Get out into the streets. Make your voices be heard. It's not hard.
You're live on the air, sir.
Good night, Mr. Glenn.
Good night.
How are you doing? It's Neville.
You're live on the air.
You sure?
Yeah, go ahead. All right, so, Josh, any more calls? We taking it easy? It's Friday?
It's Friday.
But I can't go, I can't have no coconut water and fat.
We'll have it for you.
Anyways.
And you get your rest.
Yes, I'll go take my rest.
Your closing remarks this evening.
Let me end by saying, let me take this last call then. Good evening, you're live.
Good night, Mr. Lall.
Yes, you're live on the air.
Yes, I was looking at the program from the beginning till to now, brother. And I just enjoying this because the exposure that you're giving these people in. One of the things I'll try to get clear, right?
Hold one second. I am not exposing anything. All I'm doing is educating the people of this country to what is happening in this country. So let me don't use this word expose.
Okay.
All right? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. One of the things now, I didn't get it clear about the budget for the sugar workers or what's going to do with the sugar industry. Can you just explain a little? I will cut out before, but I'm going to listen on the RCC.
All right. Thank you.
Sugar.
A nice question.
Sugar,
The
sugar,
gentleman
sugar.
talk about the sugar industry.
The long and short of the sugar is that it costs too much to produce and it's not bringing in enough profit. So there's a shortfall
The
in
sugar, yeah, but
operational costs.
But
it's not profitable.
The PPP has been using the sugar industry from way back day one as a milking cow
Yeah.
to just thief money.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
And they've turned it into
The
a
sugar
political
industry-
issue.
Yes, the sugar industry is dead. We cannot produce sugar to match the world market price.
Exactly.
We can import sugar cheaper. But guess what? They still have that sugar industry running, doing a set of crap with it, and they pump in $20 million US. You hear that?
Wow.
This year budget has 20 million American dollars. The 20 million American dollars is actually half the public servant increase salary. So what are they going to do with it? Check what they're going to do with it. They're going to say them buy this, them excavate here, they do this, that. Listen, man, they're only using these projects to siphon off your money into their pockets. That's what they're doing. Sugar is dead. And guess what? They blame the coalition for shut down the industry.
And then they turn it into a racial issue as well.
Exactly.
When it's not like there aren't people from every ethnicity working in the sugar sector. It's always been like that. In fact, mostly it's almost an even split, about 60-40. So it's not really a racial issue, but they just use these things to continue to inculcate a set of nonsense in people's mentality, and then you have people using, you know, the sugar thing as a whole big
race,
race thing. It's politics thing. No,
Yes,
it's the fact that it's not profitable. It doesn't make sense. It's not profitable. If it's not good business.
Take money and pay the people and stay home.
Or train them to do something else. We're in the 21st century. Why do we have people in fields cutting cane?
Exactly.
That nobody wants? Don't those people and their children and their families deserve some kind of elevation in life? Or are we always going to be cane cutters and rice planters? But that's the mentality that the visionless politicians have.
The visionless?
Visionless. Visionless.
I want to tell you that we have some smart politicians here. But they are too greedy.
They have
Well,
vision, but a vision not with your vision.
Yes, it's not in your best interest.
Of course, and I don't respect that too, because I think when you have a gift, when you're intelligent and you're smart or whatever, you're educated, you have even more of a responsibility to be of service and help those who are not in that position. So it doesn't impress me to hear that, oh, this one is so smart and he's so brilliant and he has a doctorate. You're wicked and evil because you're using your God-given talents not to help people and be of service and to contribute positively to the planet, but you're using it for selfish means. We don't have respect for people like that. Those people got to live on their own planet by themselves and stop telling us that we live in a society where we're in it together. That's the part that kills me.
Well said, Ms. Harris. Joshua?
Yes, sir.
I still feel for that woman
Me
who
too.
walking around begging
Yeah.
Yep.
for that
Place to stay.
rent advance she need. And I'm going to repeat and end it with this. Again, Mr. Ali, if you take 60 million, and that's not a lot of money,
Less than 10%.
less than 10% of the people's oil money, it belongs to them, Mr. Ali. You can double all the public servants' salary, and that's 65,000 old people pension. You can double that money for those people so that they can have a good life. Would you please do that? And throw out some of those projects you guys earmark. It's not important more than people's belly and their children's belly. So please, I beg you, give the people their rightful share of their rightful wealth. With that, God bless you guys and have a great weekend.